Well, guys, again, I'm a teacher. I own insurance safety now. I'm a school teacher. That's what I did. That's my life. It's close to me. I've preached that all my life to my own children, even children that I raised that were not my children. One of them is going to college. The other one again joining the service. I think education, higher education, is the backbone of our country, not just Louisiana or Caddo Parish, but our country. I think without good education, we're spinning our wheels. I think we've done, in times, poorly the way we funded it, the way we've looked at it. We've used it as an issue that really shouldn't have been. Just take care of it. That's, and we've talked about that. One thing that we have not talked about is health care, which is another huge thing. I'm older. Some of you guys are a little older. My dad just passed away from Alzheimer's 2 weeks ago. We buried him last Sunday a week ago. I lived through 11 years of that. The last 3 weeks especially were terrible. I saw things in the nursing homes I'd like to see changed. My wife passed away 3 years ago from depression. I was depressed probably 21 years or so of our 24-year marriage. Went through some horrible bouts of that. I was surprised at how they treated that by, the medicines and things they did. I'd like to look at some of those processes and the nursing homes and facilities, not saying they're doing a bad job, but to be sure that we're doing a good job. I took my son with me to see Dad not long after we put him in the nursing home. I told him, my son, if you take real good care of yourself, go to the doctor, don't smoke, don't drink, get plenty of good sleep, you're going to end up right here. And he looked at me like, you're kidding. I know, because you'll outlive everybody else, and that's where you'll be. And and he's always told me, I'm not going to ever let you live there, Dad. And I'm really not going to hold him to that, because if in my father's shape, he didn't know where he was. And it's horrible to see. Not so much for him. He didn't have problems. We did. My mother, who I thought that was going to end up taking her life, and they say that the caregiver normally dies before the person's sick because it wears them out. And I saw in her, and as bad as this might sound, I was ready for Dad to go because I was afraid Mom was going to kill herself trying to help him. She felt like old married 68 years. And this November, they'd been married. And she felt like every breath he took, she needed to be there because if the last one came, she wanted to be with him, and she was. I think there's some problems that we have in that, and I'm not sure. I'm sure there are government regulations, many of them I'm sure federal, but certainly state, that we need to address and look at those kind of things. And again, that's something that affects me because I'm close to that. I've already been through that once. I've got a mother that's 85. There's going to be some others of us that are involved in it. And I think that's important. That's something that's never been asked me. And all the questions I've gotten about nursing homes and that sort of thing. And I think that's important. That's where the baby boomers are headed. And I see several of us in here. So I just think it's and those that aren't, a little younger, they're looking at that too. And I wasn't at one time when I was younger. I didn't really care. Never had been in a nursing home except at Christmas to sing carols. That's a little, you want to see the best part there. It's a little different when you have someone in there, and you go there daily to check on them. So I think those are some of the things that I would look at. Education, health care, two of the bigger ones for me. I also think industry-wise, we take too much time trying to, and I know you guys are involved in this, trying to lure General Motors or Georgia Pacific or those kind of plants into Shreveport or our area, where we miss sometimes, I think, the smaller 8, 10, 12-man groups that can come in that we could probably get if we focused on those. A lot of times we don't because we don't look like that's a big enough market. I know where I am in Logansport, 8-man business would be huge for our county. Sabine Parish, 8-person business, 6-person business would be huge for that area. Here, if you had one, normally that leads to another one. And I think maybe some of the focus should be not so much, and still go after the big ones if you can get them. But, here we've had some trouble getting them in and they left. What about some of those smaller satellite businesses, that sort of thing? I think that might be a better focus. I've actually talked to different groups or two different men that are interested in moving into the area. One of them is a water processor. He said he can bring 6 to 8, maybe up to 100 later on if it works. I flew on my own money. 2 years ago, I went up to Detroit and went to his plant in Bella Access in Lansing, Michigan. He came here 3 months ago to check. And he was here in Freeport, and we checked about that. And he kind of lost interest because he said the economy's bad. He just couldn't do it. He called me 2 weeks ago and said now he might be interested because the market's changing a little bit, and if I could help him, in other words, maybe introduce some people, maybe could help his business, he might be more interested. I just think sometimes we're not proactive enough in those areas. I don't know. I've never been a legislator, but like I said, I did this on my own. I paid my own way. I didn't ask anybody. I paid my own hotel bill. And certainly as a legislator, I'd be actively interested in doing that. That helps us all. Okay.